now give the floor to His Excellency, Mr. Mohammed Nasir, Principal Secretary to the President on Foreign Relations, the President's Office of the Maldives.
Thank you, Madam President. The Maldives support the State of Palestine to become a full member state of the United Nations. The Maldives also calls on the other 192 member states of the United Nations, including the permanent members of the Security Council, to give their full unconditional support to Palestine becoming a full member state of the United Nations. I wish to thank Malta, the President of the Council, for the month of April for convening this timely, open debate on the situation of the Middle East. Madam President, the situation in the Middle East remains on the agenda of the Council for one reason, and one reason only, which is that Israel continues to invade, occupy, colonize Arab lands in the region against international law, defying international norms and challenging the basic principles set out in the United Nations Charter. Today, it is waging a genocide and gruesome war against Palestine, in which Israel has killed more than 33,000 Palestinians and wounded over 76,000 people. And still the Council is unable and unwilling to stop Israel. The Charter requires the Council to take punitive action against those that violates its resolutions. It is therefore time that the Council imposes sanctions, including an arms embargo on Israel. The application of Palestine seeking the full membership of the United Nations provides yet another opportunity for the Council to be on the right side of the history. Palestine has the support of more than 140 member states. This is well beyond the majority required by the General Assembly to admit a new UN member. Yet, as was the case when the application was initially submitted in 2011, it rests in the hands of the Council. The Council has failed the people of Palestine time and time again. In recent times, each time a veto was cast over the past 5 months, preventing a ceasefire in Gaza. Each time the Council failed to enforce its resolutions, resulting in the loss of countless more lives. The Palestinian people have been subjected to horrors and no people should have to endure. They are still suffering from Israel's impunity and its genocidal aggression. They are still deprived of humanitarian assistance and their basic human rights. Madam President, the starting point for an enduring solution for the situation in the Middle East is granting the full membership of the United Nations to the State of Palestine. That is the basic ingredient of the two-state solution. The immediate next step is for Israel to recognize and respect the sovereignty and independence of Palestine on the lands that Israel has occupied since 1967, with East Jerusalem as its capital. At the same time, Israel must immediately and unconditionally withdraw from the Arab and Palestinian lands it has occupied. It must allow the safe return of the resettlement of hundreds and thousands of Palestinians forcefully driven out of their homes since 1948. The Council has before it a once-in-a-generation opportunity to be on the side of justice and say yes to the fundamental rights of Palestinian people and say no to Israel's racism apartheid, and occupation, which means saying no to illegal settlements and expansion, and say yes to Palestine's full membership of the UN, and say yes to Palestine's independence, sovereignty, and territorial integrity. Members of the Council, say yes to Palestine. I thank you all.
I thank His Excellency.